Hi guys, time for another round of Chitter Chatter. Today we're going to chit chat with our author Shankar Ananth. He has written his new book, Utopia. I'm sure you're all excited to know about this fictional novel. Well, I have been reading it and I'm glued to it, and I have so many questions. I would also like to talk a lot about the book, but I'm not going to tell you all anything right now, because right now, whatever it is he who's going to talk to us and I am going to question him. So let's send him a request and let's get started with our Chitter Chatter. Thank you for joining us live. Ravi Kumar, hello. Hello, Nanki Asthana. Wasim Khan, hello. Hello, Shritesh Patel. Gaurav, hi, how are you? And I have sent a request to Shankar, so hopefully he should be here soon and we should get started. Hi, Shankar.
Hi Shweta, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. How's it going? You seem to be
It's
stuck in a
going
car.
great. And I have to tell everyone that this is not Utopia. I am in reality having a chit chat with Shankar Ananth.
Where are you? Seem stuck in a car
So,
somewhere.
how's it going? How does it feel the novel is out?
Oh, it's great. It's been my dream ever since I think I was writing ever since school. So it's always been a dream to get my hands on a book that I've written. So yes, it's just a great feeling. I'm not the one to generally get elated very soon, but yeah, this is something phenomenal. Thanks a lot for to the book bakers and Loxley Hall Publishing for making it happen.
When you've started writing at the age of 10, and
Yeah.
that's, I think, the time where I didn't even think of writing. I was only reading. So, what made you write your first thing at the age of 10?
I mean, I was always interested in like reading per se. It always started with for me the probably the first books I've picked up were like actual books were Huckleberry Finn and all those, and then I moved to Famous Five, then Harry Potter. So I thought these are great stories, but guess what? Even I have good stories, so let's give it a try. So I mean, it was first I think publishing in schools and school magazines. I was the editor for school magazine, I think. Then yeah, I think I went on to publish a couple of short stories here and there. Uh, and then yeah, finally I think this book I started when I was in kind of a weird phase in my life. So that I thought, the story needs to come out somehow. So why not go for a book this time?
When you decided to write, it is,
Hmm.
many a time, especially when you're in a dark space and you decide to write and you decide that, you want to put in your story out there. Who was your biggest motivator at that point to make you be like, okay, whatever the phase of life, it's okay, just go out and write your story?
Well, I mean, in that phase, I usually used to go to my friend Tane. So we were like living very close to each other. We were friends since college. Shout out to him if he's there. So I think this idea actually came about at his place when we were discussing. Both of us were going through tough times. So we both were discussing different things and what it would be like to be if what would be it like if everything was perfect, in a world, in a crazy world, if things were meant like the way we want them to be. So I think the idea was born out of it, and yeah, I think he was the one who was there when I first thought that yes, I would write. And I think he was the one who actually read the first chapter. I thought this is something I've come up with. Just give it a read and let me know what you think. If there's a good chance that if he had said that this is BS, I mean, you can't write, I would have stopped right there. But the reviews were different. He said, it's actually good stuff. You should actually go ahead with it, and so I did.
So, Shraddha Sahi and writer Nitya, they're congratulating you on your book, Shankar, and they are loving the answers that you're giving. And I must say, congratulations on the book, because the way your book is written, it is actually not like, I don't know what to say, because it's actually like fictional and reality, something we all go through, and we're stuck in between the utopia
Yeah.
phase. And that's exactly what I felt every time I was turning a page, like in spite of four different stories, somewhere each one of them like connects to you at some point. And it's very difficult when you have too many characters, and
Hmm.
also trying to connect them, and also where you're talking about the human race. I mean, because everyone, it is something like the moment we talk about the human race, everyone has different point of views, different ideologies. For you to have a combination of all of this in one book, how did it happen? Like, what was going on in your mind at that point?
Um, yeah, good questions. So a lot of things. Like I said, it wasn't a very great phase. I was thinking what would happen. I was actually reading a lot about something called lucid dreaming, which is actually one of the important parts of this book. Um, so I went ahead and kind of joined a Facebook group because I was lucid dreaming, just for the people who were not aware, is a phenomena when you can actually control your dreams, and it's supposed to have a very strong effect on your cerebral capacity. Um, so once you actually are able to master that, that means that you can actually control your mind. So I actually joined a Facebook group of people who were actually practicing this and attempting to master it. I reached out to them and they said they had a huge benefit. So I thought, what if it? And I was always interested in science fiction, right? So what if this can be implemented? And that's how the story kind of came to be. And even the plot lines, it actually took me 3 months. So it wasn't like, I decided to write and start writing. It took me 3 months to actually make sure that I had an Excel column. I had like something called Mindex, so different clouds, and how to put together the storyline for it to make sense. I always knew I wanted to write science fiction and not literary fiction, but yeah, it took me a while.
So while writing this book, I'm sure you also had a lot of dreams, a lot of manifestations that you wanted connected to the book. Maybe know some of them.
I mean, I did try my hand at lucid dreaming, but it didn't work out very well. Turns out I don't have that great a control of my mind. But yeah, I mean, it did actually manifest. There's a lot of, I think there are a few chapters where I've actually mentioned a few dreams. So that actually are a part of something that I have been through. And that's, I think, usually the case with all writers. They actually draw a lot from their experiences. So yeah, I mean, there's bits and pieces of what I have experienced in the book.
So while before I go on my next question, Reddy underscore 1963 says, "Congrats, Shankar. Seen you as a small baby and nice to see you as an author. Good luck." The Antique Collector says, "Nice to see you here. Best wishes to you." Lelata Balasubramaniam.315 says, "Congratulations on your book, Shankar. Great questions and interesting answers. Thank you." Sing the Poet says, "Congratulations for the book and waiting to read it." Well, all you viewers out here, let me tell you all one thing. Y'all have to go on Amazon and order a copy, and trust me, y'all are not going to regret it. Even if science fiction is not your genre, trust me, you're going to enjoy it. Because frankly speaking, I am totally a romantic person and all, but the moment I laid my hands on the book, I am like still at it. Like, I am just enjoying the book thoroughly. And I wouldn't be surprised if I want to try lucid dreaming and all of that.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know that India is not generally a place for science fiction, but we have warmed up to a lot of people who write science fiction. So Dan Brown is a perfect example. So people who like Da Vinci Code and other Dan Brown kind of novels will definitely like this. So thanks everyone for your great comments. And yeah, like Shweta said, I mean, it'd be great if you can get a copy and see for yourself. Um, what lucid
So,
dreaming is and
Rasika
other things.
questions, which part of the brain actually controls our manifestations?
I am not sure of the medical terms, but I think it's the cortex. I think the cerebral cortex. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think that's one of the parts that controls the manifestations. And honestly, I mean, I did read a book by Sigmund Freud for this. Turns out we don't know that much about how what happens in our brain when we sleep. So we spend up roughly one third of our life sleeping, right? Uh, Turns out we have no clue why we dream. Turns out we have no clue why we need to dream or what those dreams mean. So a lot of these things are still pretty much myths. They're still pretty much speculation. So yeah, I think everything will be at this point a guessing game, and it'll be more what you understand and what you think is important.
So, Shankar, tell us how many cups of coffees went down while writing this book till your first
Oh,
draft.
plenty. I think I have a cup of coffee right here, right now. But before the first draft, yeah, I generally have a habit of going to cafes and writing. I generally like I think if someone reads the testimonials, I've actually thanked the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf Company because most of
Yes.
my book was most of my book was covered in Bangalore, and what I used to do is during the weekends I used to go there, get a cup of hazelnut latte, sit there for 3 hours and just write. So I would say like 3 years worth. So lots and lots of caffeine has gone into it.
Caffeine rush.
Yes, definitely.
But being a coffee holic, I don't think I would call it that's it because the moment anyone says coffee or books, I'm like, huh? What? What did you just say?
That's
So
fair. Yeah.
160 Days seems like a great read. We'll definitely get a copy. Kavita Manzi says India is a place of versatility. Science fiction too is. Ashutosh Kale 31 congratulates you. And a lot of good wishes and hearts are. So Shankar, tell me one thing. Who was your biggest critic? Who was the one who criticized your novel for the good?
Again, the friend that I mentioned, right, Tane, and I have my sister, Deepa, who's also been, and my wife. She. I think I changed a few things after she pointed out a couple of things. Uh, so all these three people, and there are other couple of friends who I've given them as like the first readers, first reading copies. So yeah, I think a few niggles here and there because the plot is quite complicated. Um, so there were chances that you know a modest brain like mine can't actually see everything. So I needed like at least 5 to 6 test readers to see what happens and what doesn't.
So tell me, when as a writer, what is a thing that you would suggest all people out there who want to write but don't have the courage to write their first novel?
Um, hmm. Yeah, I think the only thing is just go for it. Don't think of the process. I know the process is overwhelming because you plan your novel, it takes a while there. Then you structure the content, then you start writing, and it takes a while. Then you reach out to agents and publishing houses. It takes a while there. Then it's marketing, right? So it's a long process. So it never helps to kind of think about it. I would say just start writing and things will fall into place when they have to. Just focus on the book, writing a great story. That's all that counts. And you know, other things will happen when they need to happen.
Wow, that's a great tip. Vivek Kapoor 9 says great tip too. And I'm sure a lot of writers out there are going to take this tip seriously, and maybe we will have many more chitter chatters with other authors too. But Shankar, tell me, how is it working with book bakers? I've read your thank you in the testimonial and in the
Hmm.
acknowledgement. But tell me your entire experience working with Suhail Mathur and the book bakers.
Oh yeah, it's been awesome. Because honestly, the challenge like I said, right, India is not a very friendly place to science fiction authors. They still, kind of stereotype Indian writers as something that's, more to do with literary fiction, the college romances and everything. So I think when I reached out to Suhail, even though it had been quite a while since I completed my book, um, again I was kind of losing confidence. So I think for him to take a chance and be adventurous, and the book bakers being adventurous with a new writer and being experimental is something great that bodes really well. I and Suhail have had a lot of conversations on this. It bodes really well for India as a place. We are, I think, the second largest English speaking nation in the world after all. So it makes sense for us to kind of be prominent in all genres, not just literary fiction. So I think the book bakers, especially Suhail, has been super helpful. He's because I'm a newbie, right? So and he's done this many times. So it's been really helpful and really the mentorship has been very good. He's been telling me, I mean, what to do and what not to do. So yeah, big kudos to Suhail and the book bakers.
Jayashree has a question for you saying, are you planning for a sequel?
Oh yes, definitely. So honestly, the if you read the book, it won't be like the conventional books you read out of Indian authors. Uh, it's definitely not a one book story. So it's there is definitely going to be a sequel, and uh, the way the book ends, it'll leave you longing for more. So the story is definitely not complete, and there will be a sequel coming.
How was it, Shankar, with Loxley Hall publishing your book? And you're doing so well, and as a newbie, again having such a good publisher publishing your book. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, I think it was very similar comments to Loxley Hall as well. Uh, I think India again is sort of restrictive in what it likes to take a chance on. But yeah, Loxley Hall again, big kudos to them. They've been very professional in how they've treated a newbie. Um, they've been very accommodating of any request, no matter how crazy they were. So I remember towards the end, I think I wanted some changes that need to be made, and even though there's some typesetting that's already been done, they were very accommodative. Um, so it's been a pleasure to work with them. Because again, uh, I wanted a science fiction novel to get published, and they were one of the braver ones and one of the more adventurous publishing houses to come up. So, and the second was that they made it easy for me. I thought it was getting tougher and tougher, but once Book Bakers and Loxley Hall eventually came in, it's been quite a smooth journey. Um, so yeah, I mean, because I'm a newbie, like I said, they kind of teach me a lot of when to launch, how to do this, how to do that, and yeah, it's been nothing but a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure having you on Chitter Chatter also, but we have a quick round of games which we are going to
Hmm.
do right now.
Hmm.
And in this quick round, you don't have time to think. So, as you
Okay.
took time to write and think about your novel, whatever we question, it has to be like really quick. Okay? So, tell me your favorite quote from the book.
Um, humans are not God.
If you had to give a title to your life, what would it be?
Chasing Utopia.
What is utopia for you?
Uh, Utopia is freedom.
If there is something that you feel that should be done right now and you had a utopia moment, which one would it be?
Um, could you repeat that question, please?
If you had to have a utopia moment right now, where would
Hmm.
it be and which one would it be?
Um, okay, so no time to think, right? So I'd like to be in a place that I and my wife have decided we want to go to eventually, which is watch the Aurora Borealis somewhere in Scandinavia. And that'll be a great moment.
So I think her name is Shweta, right? If I'm not
Yeah, her name is
mistaken.
Shweta. Yes,
So
yes.
Shweta, we've transported you there through our life for now till he takes you there. One thing for all coffee lovers out there.
Try black coffee, is great.
That was simple and nice.
I know. I discovered black coffee quite late, but yeah, it's quite good.
Oh, the same thing happened with me. I was a fan of cold coffee, and then for some reasons I had to stop milk, and that's how I developed a taste for black coffee, and now I love black coffee.
Oh yeah, it's much healthier and it actually does what coffee is supposed to do. Coffee doesn't
Okay,
actually
books or
energize as
coffee?
much. Ah, tough question. Books.
Books or coffee?
Books, definitely.
Favorite author besides yourself?
Stieg Larsson of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
5 books lately that you've read and liked it.
Flatland, Asura by Anand Neelakandan, um, the Millennium, the Three Body Problem by Sixen Liu, um, Salman Rushdie's Midnight Children, uh, and Douglas Adams, The Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy.
If one author you had to co-write with, who would it be?
Oh, Dan Brown, no question.
If you had to invite somebody in your lucid dream besides the 2 authors you've spoken, which would be the third author?
So I spoke about Stieg Larsson and Dan Brown. My third author would be Douglas Adams because I think
If you had to convince, sorry,
he's probably the craziest imagination I've ever seen of an author.
okay, one word that comes to your mind, utopia.
Peace,
Loxy Hall Publishing.
friendly.
Book bakers.
Mentorship.
And Kindle version, paperback.
Paperback.
Sequel of Utopia.
Dystopia.
That's awesome. Not bad, yeah. You didn't take time to think. I couldn't punish you or give a problem like, oh, you took time to think, you've lost it.
I'm
It
surprised
was
what the
great.
punishment.
Oh, now that you've not got a punishment, I can't disclose it. Maybe while our second Chitter Chatter, when we are doing a second one with the sequel, at that
Yeah.
time, maybe I can tell you. But right now, it was great. It was amazing. Thank you for this Chitter Chatter. Thank you for the time. I hope you enjoyed our Chitter Chatter session as much as we enjoyed chatting with you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah, it's been great. And wonderful questions. I think very insightful. Thanks a lot for the time.
And guys out there, please tell your friends. And you out there, if you all haven't bought your books, Utopia it is. Please go and buy right now. And you can DM him, you can DM the book bakers, you can DM the publishing house, and tell us how you like the book. And I'm going to put in the review really soon on top. Bye, Shankar. Have a happy
Bye.
reading, happy weekend, happy writing, and time for another chitter chatter soon with you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for your time, Shweta. Happy weekend. Bye.